Well, hello again, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, cardboard crawlers of all nations. We are here with the two cliffhangers out cruising in the after rain before the next cycle of rain. Got a little bit of clear weather here. Well, not clear, but a little drier. It's not pouring down right now, and kind of had a day inside today, a little bit of housework and this and that and the other. Didn't really work on some cars. I really do need to put some oil shocks on that black cliffhanger. I really think it's going to run a lot better. I remember talking to James on his live yesterday, James RC Garage, and he was talking about changing some shocks around, and I mentioned to put some heavier weight springs on his shocks, and if he's going to run the rubber bands, and that's what the blue cliffhanger is running. The blue and white cliffhanger. It's running the I think they're 36 millimeter hot racing, just friction shocks, but with the heavy springs and the goodies rubber bands in there, it really gives it some good suspension travel and action. They look like they have a little bit of not rebound, but they work well, and they load up and they unload nicely, whereas the black one is running the really soft springs, so they just kind of stay compressed, and they work okay, but it's just, it's not the best. So a little line choice change here with the blue rig. Hey, so remember, if you like this content, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, hit the bell notification so you know when I'm putting out content. This is going to be a nice long one here. It's about 18 minutes long. I shot a total of, 25 minutes of footage and edited it down to about 18 minutes. Sometimes I reshoot an angle or something if it just doesn't feel right, and I'll just reset one of the trucks. My videos are always a little longer when I have multiple trucks. Just obviously, we're shooting the same angle twice, so we get twice as much footage. What I've been putting out about a 9-minute video, and this one's about 18, so it seems about right. That math is correct if we're thinking about where they're going and how I'm eating up the time. But it's kind of fun to come out in the rocks. I put this set of wheels was laying around with just 3 tires put together, and so I put the 4th together to come out here and see how they go. These are the 57 millimeter Chiracs on both of these cars, actually. One of them, the black rig that you see there, is on a version 1 Maz Designs chassis with a FuriTech full-size Komodo in there, stock axial axles with not a hex widener in those, I don't believe. I believe those have the Hot Racing 6 millimeter widening kit in it. So 3 millimeters per side. Maybe it's a 6 millimeter per side. I'm not exactly sure how they measure that one. They call it a 6 millimeter kit, so I would think it's a 3 per side, although it could be 6. I'll have to take those spacers off and measure them. Look at that. That's a good looking rig right there with the blue links in it and the blue and white body on it. And once again, that's a OG Maz Designs version 1 chassis as well, sitting on Maz Designs nylon portals with CVDs in it. And yeah, just trying to get around this rock here. It's a little tricky section. Sometimes you can get enough oomph and goomsh to get your wheel to just climb up over that rock, but with the slick the rain that we had on it, and it washed all the grip off, and then, you know, a little wet tire. You know, you gotta pick your lines as you can get them. And she made it up, though. That's a fun little section. This whole little part of the course is enjoyable to drive on, and it looks good on film as well. So, trying to get a little bit of moss to grow in some spots. I think I need to start remembering to put it on the north side of the rocks in the shade so that it can actually survive the summer. I think in the summer this is kind of a southern exposure right here, and it's just gonna get annihilated, but it's working for now, and we'll see. Like to add some more. I need to go over the neighbors and kind of harvest a little bit more of that and put it in some cool little spots, and do that as I go along, and just remember to keep adding little features like that. It really adds to the look. It makes it feel different when you're driving in there, and definitely you know, need to build a couple little wooden houses or structures or whatnot, and you know, put them on the course somewhere. There needs to be a little cantina down here by this little log that we cross over right in front of where the blue truck's sitting. And good old Blue Dog out here in the rain today. Not in the rain, but he's feeling better. He doesn't look like he's limping there, but if he gets up from resting for too long, he's still limping a bit. We were just over at Jimmy's house, and he had laid down there on the ground, on the floor for a while, down in front of me, while Jimmy and I finished watching the Kansas City Bills game. And yeah, so, or I'm sorry, the Chiefs and the Bills, you know. I know you didn't think it was Kansas City Bills, but yeah, so Bills just won. Jimmy called it. Someone's going to win by a field goal, and they did. So, but yeah, Blue chilling with me today. Went to the store earlier without him. A little slow-mo action right here. Looking good with those Maz Designs double stars. Such a good looking wheel. And the bronze, people love it. Looks good. I think I might run those on the black car on film one day just to see how they go, what it looks like. I really like the way these cliffhangers came out. Like I said, could probably use some oil shocks in them. I do have a couple sets of oil shocks laying around. I'm definitely going to... This one on the portals with the way I have these shocks set up work really good with the stiff springs and the rubber bands. The other ones, not so much. So it's just kind of a belly dragger. So I think some oil shocks on that one, and we'll be set up looking a little bit better, working a little bit better. And these tires don't have foams in them, or I mean, sorry, they have foams in them, but they don't have like a 3D printed insert in them. And I know you may have listened to me recently talking about how I do like the inserts, and I definitely do. I just haven't found any to put in these yet, and the budget's just, you know, constantly changing. So, yeah. But this is a little tough section here, coming at it from either direction, whether you come at it from where the black truck is or where the blue truck is. Like, I don't really know if I've ever driven that line before, right there, that the blue truck just took. So, I don't know. But, you know, you just kind of, you see something that looks like it's going to work, and so you go for it, just like out on the trail. And as long as you're not out there beating up the brush and tearing up the ground and making new lines, you know, if it's on the rock, it's on the rock. Let's get her done. So, yeah, a little fun uphill right through this little spot, and just trying to make it all work, you know. Some days are tougher than others, but yeah, these look good. Love the Maz Designs titanium beadlock rings. It's a really beautiful add to a set of wheels. If you don't really love a set of wheels that you have, check out his site and pick out the right ones for the wheels that you have as far as hole pattern and size, and you won't be disappointed. Order up that scale hardware if you feel like you want it. I really like it. Some people say, it's a little grabby on the rocks and whatnot, and yeah, it's a little traction, a little extra sidewall traction, if you ask me. But I have noticed, you get bound up too bad and it could be an issue. So, just P's and Q's. It's actually the only set of wheels that I have that don't have scale hardware in them. The on the black wheels there, it just has 4 bolts holding it in. I thought it was kind of a cool pattern. 4 normal bolts holding it in. It just looked a little different, and those are just a 16-hole Injora wheel. Yeah, I don't know what they call that design particularly, but it's it's like an ovalized cutout in the wheel itself, like 8 small little cutouts, and like I said, it's a 16-hole pattern. So you get those wheels for about $20. And then, you buy brass for 10 or 15 bucks, and then, you get 20 bucks in a set of bead locks, and next thing you know, you're looking at a $60 set of wheels, 50. But, you try not to think about that kind of thing. It is what it is. These little cars, they start to add up, and it doesn't mean that you have to put that stuff in there, or, that you have to do any of that. I have a set of 15-hole Injora wheels that I think I got for like $13, and then I put a set of Maz Designs bead locks on them, the double star titanium bead locks on them, and those are on my FJ45, one of my nicer trucks, and I love the way those wheels look. They just happen to be green. It matches the paint scheme really well, and so I run them. They look great. Now, we chose a little different downhill section there because I like this little rock section right here. Almost get hung up. And then we're going to go left turn, Clyde. Left turn. Let's do it. And had a weird little camera angle here. I kind of wish that I would have caught this corner because the truck... There we go. I guess I did change it. Truck was driving real good through there. So, and then the blue buggy. We're going to follow the leader there. Go around the corner, back up. Since we're not comping, doesn't really matter. And I think a lot of people have just gone the way of not counting the backup as a point against, because these trucks, the turning radius is highly lacking. But obviously you don't want to just rely on that. It takes time and it moves you around. So didn't use the winch out here today, although we could have. It was just sitting over there on the sidelines to keep it handy. But we didn't really feel like we got into a section where we needed it. Running kind of a big heavy battery in that blue rig, so I was worried I was going to have some rollover issues, but we didn't run into any of that. And like I said, so the rain's starting to come back a little bit. We're in the trees here, and it's not really hitting us. But it's starting to come in just a little bit, so we'll see how this ends. So it's fun to come out and get the tires a little dirty and wet and see how they handle on some of the slick rocks. And old Blue over there still making sure we're doing okay, making sure there's no predators coming towards us. He's real good at just keeping an eye on things. He loves to be on the sideline and finding the spot to sit down and guard over us. He really loves, like, when we're doing yard work, to be out and just find a shady spot and hang out close by. Sorry, had a little yawn there, ladies and gentlemen, and I know how that goes. Seems like my own voice is putting me to sleep these days, so I don't mind. Let it play. Let it play, and if you go to sleep, hit that repeat button. If this is a nice soothing sounds for you, then by all means, let it happen. So that big old Komodo in this little tiny truck, I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure something else out. I'd really like to put that into the Grizzly Works Gladiator, although that would just change the way the battery and everything is in that rig. So you know, I don't know. We'll see. I like the LCG kit that's in that, and I'm not trying to put a new chassis on that rig. Look at that Blue even over there yawning. Oh, he must have heard Lucky. Lucky was probably over. Lucky's our neighbor's dog. She's real pretty, like I don't know. She's like an English pointer or something like that. She's nice and big, and she's a pretty girl, and she likes to bark at us. And Blue just doesn't, you know, he'll just look over at her and be like, Lucky, what are you doing? He knows that she means no harm and that she's not coming through her fence to come see us. So, yep, supposed to clear back up again tomorrow, which should be nice. I don't think it's going to cool down for a couple days. Not that it's hot here, but it's definitely warmer. It's in the 60s and raining. So, we're blessed with that weather, and just had to have a rain jacket on out here. Didn't want to get dripped on too bad, and don't have these cars waterproofed, so to speak. They're resistant, but they're not waterproof. So, and right here we're just too much mud on these tires, and it's getting into that rock, and you need your back tire hooked up on that sloped rock that's to the driver's side, to be able to get your passenger tire hooked on the top of that rock in front. The black buggy made it, which is funny, because it usually doesn't have as much clearance, but it just has really good slow crawl and maybe a little less mud on the tires at that moment, and it just was able to come on through. And then a lot of times we'll go left up that crack line right there, but we're trying to stay slow and steady and low down in here, and we're just headed for home with the Blue Dog right there. And I think, like Blue's noticing it, I think it starts raining on us pretty darn good here in just a second. But like I said, I really appreciate all of you, and thanks for the subscriptions and everybody watching the videos and all the support we get. You know, probably couldn't do it without you. Wouldn't find much of a reason to anyhow. And yeah, there it is. The rain's a coming, and I just decide that that's about it. We're not gonna blow up some cars. So cardboard crawlers out.